Hello Griffin-scopers, welcome back into our little sound booth, the corner of YouTube where we like to do character and soul birth card character analysis, looking at the various energies that run around a person's life from birth through till death. So today we are going to be looking at Samantha Markle. Personally, I quite like Samantha. She seems to come across quite grounded, quite together, but who is she really? Let's find out. So before we do that, everything that comes out of my mouth today onto the table is purely for entertainment purposes and therefore must be taken as such. If anybody would like a private read with me, please do get in touch. My email address is in the description box. So let's start. Let's pan the camera down and take a look at Samantha's cards. What has she got? She is a Sagittarius, so that makes her the Temperance and the Hierophant. So with the Hierophant, let's start there. Well, she embodies a very ancient archetype. The Hierophant, also known, of course, as the Pope. I think it's quite it's quite interesting because Meghan actually looked like she was embodying the Pope recently at the Paris fashion show with all that white swaddling around her. But actually, it's her sister Samantha that truly embodies the characteristics of a spiritual leader. So this isn't always an easy energy to navigate, the Hierophant. It asks us, what do you believe in? What truth will you actually live by? So at its highest vibration, the Hierophant is about preserving the past and tradition and honouring wisdom and offering guidance. So Samantha's role symbolises the role of a guide, and I believe she is actually a mental health guidance counsellor. So somebody who prompts deeper questions about family loyalty and identity. And the Hierophant can actually represent institutions of education, something that Samantha's had to put herself through to gain her qualifications. And in, like I said, her professional role as a mental health counsellor, she reflects that kind of healing guidance that's contained within the Hierophant's energy. The teacher, the guide, offering light in moments of confusion and in times of need for people. A character this is that people can really lean into because their advice is going to be worth its weight in gold. They come across as more of the tried and trusted kind of characters when they're upright, not so much always when they're in their shadow. So yeah, she navigates the labyrinths of people's minds and hearts and gives them healing guidance. So Samantha is a little bit like a soul cleanse for her family. She's publicly positioned herself as a critic and a commentator on Meghan's life, her sister, and she's kind of like the guardian of moral order, you know, invoking and projecting her family's values and traditions and propriety. So she frames her commentary as setting the record straight or restoring truth to public disclosure, attempting to foster public understanding with everything that's going on with the family battles. So Sam represents the old order, the one that serves truth rather than just appearances, family loyalty, proper behaviour and respect for legitimacy and authenticity. So this is what she embodies, while Meghan kind of rebels and refuses to kneel before the altar of tradition. They're really like, you know, chalk and cheese, light and shadow. But in shadow, Samantha could be seen potentially as a little bit of a preacher without a church, trying to reclaim her authority through the platform of the media pulpit. Her fixation on truth becomes like a religion as she attempts to restore a sense of truth within the family. And like I said, it's contrasted with how Megan is. It's like night and day. So Samantha, you know, will tend to drag the sacred into the public square for moral inspection and just basically the love of her family. So she does this with a real kind of level-headed conviction. She's the one who holds the sacred order together, even while Megan tries to kind of crumble it down all around her. Sam knows that no amount of conflict, judgment or criticism or lies can restore what only compassion can heal. So Sam lives within a landscape of all the fives in the tarot, and the energy of the fives, or, you know, they're full of conflict, loss, exclusion and moral struggle. And they're also crucibles of transformation. They are quite severe tests, I would say. So these moments in her life where she's strongly being tested are the moments when her soul is literally forged through extreme pressure and conflict and pain. And through the intense challenges her soul faces, she has the potential to purify and awaken truth and authenticity within herself. So the heat of the conflicts kind of burns away any kind of pretenses and exposes what is real about her. So each public controversy, each family fracture, each moral stance, it's the heat itself. So it's kind of the soul's alchemy of someone being tested by rejection, rivalry, lies, all these, you know, really strong challenges. So the fire isn't there to destroy her in these conflicts. Think of it as it's refining her character. So for Sam, with the let's start there with the Five of Pentacles. So this would be Sam's wheelchair kind of mirrors here. Look, the two grounded crows on, you know, they're trying to walk forward in the midst of a storm, and the grounded crows are pushing forward inch by inch. The feathers are absolutely soaked through, they're very vulnerable, and every step is painful in the wind and the water. They can't fly. It's like each step is a test of movement and endurance, and it's physically exhausting. But Sam doesn't let that wheelchair define her. She absolutely refuses to be seen as a victim. She won't let that define her, even though it's like a daily grind. So although Sam's mobility declined over the years, like the crows, she still carries the memory of flight. You know, moving forward with fierce determination, even when those cold winds of her sister's criticisms and judgments try to keep her immobile. But her resilience and inner light remain, even when perhaps Doria and Megan left her out. So, you know, there were tales of Doria wanting to see the family as just the three: Thomas Markle Sr., Doria herself and Megan, and the other siblings were kind of left out, quite cruelly, I feel. So Five of Wands is a card about conflict and competition, a card where people are really kind of struggling against each other. This is raw fire energy, all those wands in the air, pure conflict. People are struggling against each other, trying to assert their position. It's a contest of wills, this, and egos, full of noise and tension. Imagine those crows all cawing at the top of the hill there. and they're all vying for their position. I think this card as well maps quite well with Sam's competing truths with Meghan over the years, you know, the verbal battles and the media skirmishes, the fire energy that channels into conflict, which is or can be empowering and exhausting as well, because it's trial by friction. The public arena is what Sam and Meghan fight in, or where they fight it out. So the Five of Swords reflects Sam's moral crusade, and we see a picture of a battlefield here, and the battle was fought for justice and truth, and it was against corruption and wrongdoing, and to expose others in the name of, you know, principle. But the battle speaks to bad blood. This isn't just any old battle. What's the name of that? What's the name given to a battle where nobody really kind of wins in the end? Oh, it'll come to me. So the battle speaks here to bad blood and hollow victories. Pyrrhic. It's a Pyrrhic victory. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah. So that blood has seen or been spilt where, you know, lines have been crossed many, many times. She may think that her sister's won, that Meghan's won the victory, but if she has, then it's a very bitter one. Meghan stands alone, like I said, Pyrrhic victory. No one truly wins when love lies bleeding on the battlefield, and we can see the casualties right there. And Sam would probably be saying something like, you know, well, you can put on your metal crown, but nobody's cheering. It's like a trophy that's bought with blood and lies, and you won the story, but you lost your soul because nobody's cheering. So the lessons Sam's life has been asking her to learn are brutal, but they're character building. And rather than focus on what's been lost in the battle, it's important for her to focus on what remains, the family relationships that really are worth their weight in gold. You know, she's got much closer to Father Thomas Sr. and her brother Tom Jr. And she needs to learn, and has been doing so, how to turn an emotional nightmare into some kind of personal growth. And she can still reclaim, you know, hope amidst the disappointment of the battle. In the Five of Cups here, she walks a very fine line between victim and alchemist. And, you know, it's a sense of, you know, when we see that battle through the lens of temperance, she's being called to balance her grief with wisdom. You know, there would be some wisdom and some personal growth. And also, like I was going on about, these cups would also represent her father and Thomas Jr. So balancing the grief with wisdom, her anger with discernment, and her desire for vindication with the quiet alchemy and patience of inner harmony. So in temperance, we see those same two cups, actually, that are in the 5 of cups. So 3 cups down, 2 cups remaining. It's like she's able to pick up these cups and start balancing all the grief, all the anger, everything that's gone before. You know, in the Temperance card, these cups are no longer being overlooked, because notice the crow's looking at what's been lost, not what still remains. But eventually, this is what needs to happen. Instead of mourning what's been spilled, she learns to blend the contents of the chalices and to pour carefully from one chalice to another. You know, symbolizing the alchemy of balance and integrating loss and hope, grief, resilience, pain with wisdom into steady, calm, flowing harmony. It could be her life's work, the alchemy to do this, the blending of the opposites, and finding, you know, those middle paths, pouring the lessons of grief and conflict, the storms and media battles from the 5. That's what would be in one of those cups, trying to find the middle way. And kind of create some spiritual resilience. Let the spilled 3 of cups go. Just let it go. The part, you know, rather than the past feed what, rather than the past feed from a poison, you know, from a poison cup presently. If that makes sense. It does to me. So Temperance, yeah, calls for her to find the right blend so that her story is not reduced to bread and circuses, fodder for the entertainment of others, consumed by spectacle, scandal, everyday gossip, and the judgment of the crowd. Imagine the old, you know, Colosseum in Rome, and you know, you've got the 2 gladiators fighting it out, Megan and Sam, and everyone's cheering on the spectacle one way or the other. Anyway, that's some of her strong life lessons that she's here to learn. Let's get into some oracle cards. Okay, show us the energy, please. Show us the energies. Show us the energies or energy. What does Sam currently think, feel about Megan? What does she currently feel and think about Megan? So she's tried to take her to court a few times. She speaks out on various podcasts. Show us the energy, please, for Sam. I'm going to wait till a flyer comes. As I said, flyer, 2 fly out. What have we got? Oh, we've got 3. Well, let's just take it. Burnt bridges. Lack of trust. Disloyal. Turned back on. Burned bridges. Absolutely on point there. Stagnant. Stuck. Dead end and frozen. And lastly, yeah, this is Temperance energy. Recharge, breathe, let go, and clear your mind. Get some harmony and peace. Okay, let's get into some pendulums. Spirit, bring peace, positivity, clarity, as you always do. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, so let's just dive right into this one. Right for a yes, left for a no, up and down for a maybe, stop for a block. Does Sam see Doria as a witch? Take that any way you want, or for entertainment purposes only. And that's a yes. Does Sam see Megan as a practicing witch? Allegedly. And we have a yes. Did Megan and Doria coordinate to discredit Sam or leave her out as she was growing up? We get a yes for that. Did Sam ever like or respect Doria for who she actually was, for her character? Was there ever a time growing up when Sam liked, respected, believed in Doria for who she was? So we notice all the nuances. It was a little bit up and down, a slight one circle for a yes, but I think that pretty quickly that the tide changed or turned. Last one. Is it part of Sam's soul contract to confront Megan? Is it part of her soul's contract, part of her life lessons to stand up for truth, confront any lies? And that's gone to a yes eventually. So initially she probably thought that maybe she couldn't do it, but absolutely she has been doing it. Okay. From the Crow Tarot, please. Anything, Crow Tarot, Oracle, anything you can tell us, please, about Sam. Anything you can tell us about Sam's character. I'm going to wait for another flyer to come. Show us the energy, please. Anything you can tell us about Sam Markle's character. Anything we need to know. Anything we need to know. Woo! Okay, that's a lot. I'll just take the top one. Oh, look at that. Protection. Yeah. And that is what the Hierophant does, like I was talking about. Protecting what's true. Protecting the family values, the tradition. Very, very protective of her father. Okay. Whew. Let's go to some charms. Oh, one's fallen out. What's that? Oh, look at that. It's a little peace dove. That literally jumped out of the bowl. Let's just create a little bit of room here. It's getting a bit messy. Put those over there. So we have... Let's get that right into camera. Oh, wrong way round, maybe. So a little miniature card of the world. And the world has a compass on it as well. And that would, for me, represent her internal sat-nav and compass, being aligned towards truth, the Hierophant's truth, and the balance as well. She charts her own course, does Sam, an inner course that I think it's a journey to wholeness. The World card in the tarot represents completion and wholeness. So this is a journey that she's traversing toward that. And, you know, that journey, Sam, is not to be used for bread and circuses. So we've got peace, we've got the world, completion, the inner sat-nav, and the peacock. Well, I guess we know who this is, don't we? This was like Meghan at the Paris fashion show yesterday. Quite vain. Very look at me, wasn't it? And this is what she's having to navigate in the world. Peacocks have those protective eyes as well, actually, don't they? I'm never sure whether those peacock eyes are protective, or some people say that they're actually unlucky. So drop your comments in the box below. Let me know what you think. I'm going to leave it there. Make of that what you will. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. You can also catch me over on Instagram now. And obviously, if anybody wants a private reading with me, then please do get in touch. My email address is in the description box. The veils are thin, guys. It's a good time of year. And of course, the full moon. All right, I'll speak to you soon. Let me know if there's anybody else that you would like me to cover. I need to do somebody a little bit lighter now that we've covered Harry, Meghan, the Markles. Maybe I'll do actually one more with, what do you think, with the brother, Thomas Markle Jr. He was actually subscribed to my first channel many moons ago. So let me know what you think. Fly well. See you soon.